What is going on, guys? Apple Fox here, and many of you have already downloaded the iOS 10 and use it in everyday life. But a battery isn't the best thing we could imagine in iOS 10, especially when you have an iPhone 6s with slightly smaller battery. The iOS 10 brings a lot of changes and new features, and in this video I'll be showing you how to save battery when applying methods available only in iOS 10. Before I get into it, I need to say that the number one thing you have to do is of course to turn on low power mode. You get notified when you reach 20%, but you can turn it on anytime. The widgets are a great part of iOS 10, but if you swipe on the home screen to access them, and if you have internet connection, they always refresh, so it is sort of like background app refresh, but it's not an app but in widgets. And this is not something you want to do to save battery. You can see that every time I swipe it gets refreshed, and it of course takes battery. I'm not saying you need to stop using it, but it would be better for your battery if you didn't go there too often. Or just set up widgets like calendar or the Siri app suggestions, because these don't take a lot of battery because they don't need internet connection to be refreshed. When talking about widgets, I also recommend you to use some kind of battery tracking app that comes with widget, so you can always see how many hours are remaining and you can always just quickly glance at the widget and you know what you're at. So in iOS 10, a lot of functions take advantage of the haptic engine. For example, when you're sliding down the notification center really slow, you can feel haptic feedback. And also when applying silent mode using the mute switch, it also uses the haptic engine. I know many people like to play around with it and it takes a lot of battery. And also when someone's calling you, it also takes advantage of the haptic engine, or it just vibrates when you have iPhone 6 or older. But if you go to settings and sounds, you can turn off vibrating whether on silent or on ring. Siri is now able to work with third-party apps. In the settings, there is a new menu for Siri, and if I open it up, there's also a new menu for app support. It's not usable right now, but in iOS 10 it will be usual to use Siri and get some kind of information from third-party apps. The developers are already working on it, but as I said, it just doesn't work yet. In the future, here in the settings, you'll be able to control the apps, and it's always better for your battery not to have all of the possible apps turned on to work with Siri. So Siri doesn't have to search through all of the apps to give you the information. Many people think that automatic brightness saves battery. This is basically not how it is. It's a little more complex because it strongly depends on your environment. If you often go from dark to light area, then it's definitely not saving your battery, but it makes it better for your eyes. And this is basically the reason it exists. On the other side, if you're outside in the day with auto brightness, you won't have the brightest display, but it will be a little dimmer. So this is probably the only way this feature can save battery. Besides that, you can also use some methods like disabling background app refresh, notifications, and also you can turn on airplane mode. But these things are not really specified on iOS 10, so I didn't want to talk about it very much. Of course, when the final version drops, there will be a couple changes and maybe new ways to save battery. So thank you for watching, and I would really appreciate thumbs up on this video if you like it. And as always, don't forget to look at my other stuff, and if you like these Apple related videos, then subscribe to my channel. We actually hit 200 subscribers the other day, so big thank you to all of you guys for your support. See you next time.